to show you what my first week in Tokyo looked like. And this is actually my first time doing a voiceover, so please be nice. The day after we arrived in Tokyo, I had an interview for a tattoo artist position at a big studio. Most of you already know that the interview went well, but honestly I was really nervous before that. I didn't know what to expect from such an official interview. In the end, it was great. I even spoke a little Japanese and we discussed all the conditions, so the rest was up to me. I wanted to buy a diary to journal my life in Japan day by day, so we went to a few stationery shops in Jimbocho area. I was so excited because if there's one thing I love, it's stationery shopping. I didn't find anything I liked in the first two stores, so we went to a little cafe for a coffee break. After that, Lucy went back to our Airbnb and I continued exploring alone. I visited a few more shops and found so many cute things, but I couldn't buy too much because our Miyako trip was still ahead of us. In the end, I bought the super cute yellow diary that starts in April because in Japan the work and school year also starts in April. And since we arrived in April, it was perfect. I didn't want to go home yet, so I went for a little walk through Akihabara and looked for an old camera I could use for filming. But I decided I probably shouldn't spend that much money on the first day. I got hungry, so I stopped at a ramen shop, and the ramen was so good. Then I continued my walk to Ueno station and headed back to our accommodation from there. It's kinda sad that you can find pandas everywhere on the Ueno station, but not in the zoo anymore. Anyway, here's a little haul of the things I bought. I definitely needed some sunscreen for Miyako-jima. This is the diary I chose, and I also bought these beautiful design papers that I want to tape into my diary somehow. I already had a vision for it, so we will see. After we returned to Tokyo, I stayed a few nights in Lucy's room because my own room wasn't ready yet. The next day I was meeting someone, so I didn't film that much, but later I bought another useful thing, this water bottle. Luckily, the water in Japan is drinkable and also really good, so I don't have to buy plastic bottles every day. When Lucy and I met up again, we found this lovely place that's a cafe during the day and a wine bar in the evening. And after finding out that our favorite orange wine is actually the thing in Japan right now, we obviously had to try a couple of them. Yeah. The next day I had pretty full schedule. I had a contract signing, and before that I had to go to the city office to register my new address on my resident card. I spent more than 2 hours there, but everyone was so kind and spoke English, so the whole process went smoothly. Then I signed the contract, and together with my new manager, we moved to Harajuku studio. The place is so beautiful and brand new. And then I could choose a room to work in, which is amazing because I've never had my own room to tattoo in. I unpacked some things that I had ordered and started setting it. I even got my own business cards. And in the future I would like to bring some framed pictures and pillows to make this room even cozier. In the afternoon, I met up with none other than Lucy in this cozy cafe. I had freshly brewed coffee and this Basque cheesecake. It was so yummy. After coffee, it was a drink time again. We found this craft beer shop. My moving day arrived, but it was raining all morning so heavily that I had to take a taxi, which is pretty expensive in Tokyo. Yeah, and I didn't manage to film any good quality footage of my new room, but look how beautiful it is. I even have a small kitchen with a sink, which is a huge plus in the share house. And also I have this built-in closet. That's also really convenient. Because I needed to wash my clothes and there was only a washing machine without a dryer, I went to a laundry place nearby since I couldn't dry anything in the rain. While the machines were running, I ate at a local ramen shop, and once again it was so delicious. Honestly, I don't know if I'll ever find a bad ramen in Japan. After lunch, I visited a few stores and looked at this vintage toy shop. It's crazy, but cute. In the end, I only bought some boring essentials from the drugstore and went back home to clean a bit. A bit later that day, I went out again and met Lucy at Kichijoji station. It's one of the busier areas in Western Tokyo, but it feels much more local compared to central Tokyo. We went to this cute basement cafe and I had to try out their special cheesecake. Then I headed to a 100 yen store to buy a few more things, and I also bought a new jeans and t-shirt in Uniqlo. I still can't understand how much affordable everything feels compared to back home. The next day, I woke up early again, did some yoga to start this new chapter in the best way possible, and made eggs for breakfast. And of course, dessert afterward was necessary. I tried this super creamy matcha cake. Again, it was so yummy. Then I got ready and went to Harajuku because it was shooting day to day in the studio. The Harajuku location is still quite new, so they wanted to film a promo video and invited me to join them. But look how busy Takeshita Street was on Saturday, absolutely crazy. But the shoot was really fun, and in between I started working on my new flashbook. I printed some designs and cut them out so I could organize them later in the notebook that I still have to buy. After a few hours, we finished and I was starving, but I didn't want to stay in such an overcrowded area, so I moved to Nakano instead. It was still busy, but much less overwhelming, and I was craving some donburi, and in the end I found this katsudon place that was unbelievably good. Again. After eating, I stopped by Nitori, which is kind of similar to IKEA, just a bit cheaper, and I bought a kettle and electric pot for around 6,000 yen. Later that afternoon, I worked on my first YouTube video that you can find here in this link. And after that, I spent the evening in Shimokitazawa enjoying an izakaya with my friend. It was lovely. Here you can see my new Uniqlo jeans together with this Orient beer t-shirt from Okinawa. I really like that one. I didn't have many plans that day, but I bought a notebook for my flashbook, and then I grabbed 2 pieces of yakitori on the street. After that, we met up with Lucy at this beautiful tea house. The place had such a clean and peaceful atmosphere, and it felt like the perfect spot to slow down for a while. I also tried a few of their cold tea drinks, and they were so refreshing and delicious. We spent some time there getting work done. I got tired of staring at my computer screen, so I switched to working on my flashbook instead. After all that work, we were super hungry, so we went to a monjayaki restaurant and tried it for the first time, together with okonomiyaki, which I already really love. And it was good. We will enjoy that.
ラーメンどこが好きとかあります？
The next morning, after doing some yoga and having an online Japanese lesson, I headed to Shibuya. There was a coffee festival happening all weekend, and since I was planning to buy some coffee beans for home anyway, it was the perfect opportunity to try some really good coffee. At the entrance, I bought a ticket and got this cute little mug along with 4 stamps, which meant I could write 4 different coffees. The first coffee was from Taiwan and had a really nice fruity flavor. The second one was from a cafe in Tokyo, where I later found out one of my friends actually works. It's a really funny coincidence. After a quick snack break, I tried 2 more coffees. One of them was the most popular stand at the festival, and the line was about 15 minutes long. But it was definitely worth the wait because this coffee from Osaka was absolutely delicious. In the end, I bought 2 bags of coffee beans, mostly because I love the packaging, but thankfully the coffee tasted amazing too. Then I went back to Shibuya, which honestly wasn't the best idea because Shibuya crossing was insanely crowded, but I think it's all the time like that. But after a few minutes I escaped the busy area and continued with a long walk through quieter streets all the way to Shimakitazawa. By the time I arrived, I was starving, so I stopped at this yakitori bar before meeting Yuse for a dinner. This time we decided to go for a little bit of Italian food instead. On Tuesday morning, I decided it was finally time to go for a run for the first time in Tokyo. And surprisingly, it was actually fun. I didn't hate it at all. I felt much more energized afterward, so I got ready and went for another walk before meeting Lucy again. I've really developed a habit of walking everywhere because it feels so nice to explore all the different parts of Tokyo. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be here, and I'm trying to enjoy and make the most of every moment. Even though living in such a big city can sometimes feel a little overwhelming and stressful, I still want to experience as much as possible. After a while, we met at the Sekaido Shinjuku stationery store. My friend wanted to buy a sketchbook, so I went with her. And honestly, I realized I probably should have stayed home because this place felt like heaven. I wanted to buy everything. The selection is so much bigger than back in the Czech Republic. But I controlled myself and ended up buying only a few colored pencils and a book. We had Torridon for lunch at a small restaurant in Shinjuku. Then we visited another stationery and design shop near Harajuku. Everything there was so beautiful. Like the design was so clever and cool. After that, we split up, and I visited a friend at a cafe in Sengenjaya, which was actually one of the cafes from the coffee festival the day before. There and then headed to Shimokitazawa again to enjoy music event at the small club I've started to really like because their parties only run from 6 to 10 in the evening, which means I can still get home at a reasonable time. And this day was also my last day being unemployed.